Listen, some people were only ever comfortable with your brokenness. And now that you've evolved, they no longer fit. If you ever feel guilty for outgrowing people to protect your peace, this one is specifically for you. Ain't nothing wrong with you. Just remember you're special. Feeling hopeless and alone, just remember there's always God there to be there to help you. Put in effort, make mistakes. No one on this earth is perfect. Trials and tribulations, both in life are guaranteed, but in the end, it's all worth it. I'm hoping and I'm praying. This is something relatable, and the words are beneficial when someone out there can understand what I'm saying. Mind, muscle, motivation. Let's stop playing. Share it with the nation. Yes, sir. Y'all know what time it is. It is mind, muscle, spirit, motivation. Thank you, okay, for sharing your time. We're gonna get right into it. I've cried. I've stayed up at night. I've done the praying. My healing has been done. So the people who've hurt me, they are no longer around, and the people that have hurt me, that vulnerable young man that they had, that they created, they broke, right? And this is the result. And I like to think when I look in the mirror, what I see is a strong-minded, strong-willed young man. This is for anybody who can relate. Anybody. Listen, if you were in a relationship, I'm gonna start it off with that. If you were in a relationship, you're a young female, young woman out there, and you did everything that I just said, ironically enough, now you're an alpha female, and people want to make you feel bad for it. This is done a lot. I've done it and I've seen it. The alpha females, they are created because they used to be broken females. And the result is an alpha female, okay? She makes her decisions. She stands on her own 10 toes. And she doesn't back down from anything. That is what you get. People aren't born like that. They are broken to get made. And that's why I don't try to pray away from hard times. You need it. Because good times create weak people. Hard times create strong people. There's no science behind it, but it's about as simple as it gets. I'm not going to shy away from hard times in life, and neither should you. And I think it's so funny how we as people, when we see a person that once was this, and then they turn into this, our eyes get about this wide. Because we're like, hold up, whoa, what did I do to you? You should probably think about that, because there are probably some things that was done that you didn't realize, and the result is what you see right in front of you. It's a great thing, depending on exactly what the person that you see in front of you is. Now, if you hurt somebody when it comes to relationships, you're either going to you're not probably going to get anything from them. And this is what I say specifically for myself. For any female who have hurted me in the past, there's no animosity, but they don't deserve the man that I've become. And I'm speaking for the man also out there who has been hurt. I'm speaking for the female that was also hurt. The people that have hurt you, the man that have hurt you, the female that have hurt you, they don't deserve what you now are. So why go back to get hurt again? It's a very insane thing that we as people do sometimes. We become strong, and then they come knocking, they come liking pictures, You know, they want to step foot into our lives because they miss what once was. But that's why, hold on, it's funny because that's why when you do veer off, you veer back into a relationship, you don't get that. You know, you don't get that weak-minded, vulnerable person that once was because they're no longer trying to hear Nathaniel what you're trying to say. Nothing. Even in friendships. That's why sometimes when people sometimes people grow apart. Sometimes one person grows apart, and that's only because when one person grows apart, it's because they grew up. Hold on, don't let that go over your head. Listen, sometimes I'm gonna say it slow. Sometimes when people grow apart, it's because one person grew up. And if you find yourself wondering, what did I do? It could have been 1,000 things that was done. And maybe there wasn't anything that you did. But it's simply because your mind and their mind, it doesn't, it's not, it's not cohesive. You know, it doesn't match, it doesn't belong, it doesn't stick. And it doesn't even have to be something that you've done. It's simply because they are growing up. They're realizing in their life there needs to be a change. And not everybody accepts change. Not everybody wants to change. Some people want to stay in that little bubble. Some people want to stay with what they always knew once was. That used to be me. I'm saying it because that used to be me. I'm not saying that through judgment, from other people or towards other people. I'm saying that because when I look in the mirror, I don't see the 21-year-old the 21-year-old young man anymore. I see the 32-year-old young man. I don't It's so crazy because the things that used to make me fall to my knees, they don't anymore. And I can talk about it because they don't anymore. Have you noticed that when you're able to talk about some things, it's because they no longer have an effect on you? You should pay attention to that because I just realized that when people are able to talk about someone else or something else, it's because it no longer has an effect on them. But when they aren't, it's because there's still something with that person or towards that thing that they haven't been able to grow apart from. And it's a shame because people can have a hold on you. And sometimes it's not even what they want. Sometimes it's not even the aim that they're trying to get at. And look, I want to tell a little story. I'm not going to say any names. I'm not going to say who it is specifically. But I knew a dude that, and I'm not talking about myself, but I knew a dude, he would, I mean, since five, he had siblings that he had to take care of, unfortunately, due to, you know, unfortunate circumstances. But he had siblings. His life evolved around his siblings. He was just a kind hearted, sincere, genuine person that would go out of his way for his siblings and everybody in his family. But once he stepped foot into his adult years, once he had his own family, he had to make decisions that was best for him. He had to make decisions that were best for his peace, for his home. And yeah, it meant cut off family. Yeah, it meant getting away from people. And that's not to say that the young man that he was, the young child that he was broken. Doing what he did, it made him strong. But that person that once was, that sincere, genuine person that once was, he finally realized that because of that, he wasn't necessarily getting taken advantage of, but that's what his family always knew. They always knew that he was sincere, he was genuine, and that he would come. That he would come. He would come running to help, to support, to provide. But the man got into his adult years and he had his own family. He had his own children that he had to care for. You can only care for people so much until you finally have to make a decision that will probably hurt everybody. But trust me, I'm speaking through experience. When you're not at peace up here, eventually you'll explode and you'll just lash out towards everybody. Your direct family, your immediate family, your intermediate family. I'm talking about everybody. People that probably don't even matter, that didn't do nothing to you. You'll lash out. All that gets built inside. And look, if you ask me, don't nobody need to have that type of package to carry. You only live once. You only live once. And I believe that God put us on this earth to support and provide and to be happy also. To support and provide for others, but to also to support and provide for ourselves. And that's what we as people forget. So anyways, back to the young man. But he had to turn away from what he once used to be. So all that care, support that he used to provide, he had to take it away from those that used to have it and give it to those who deserved it, that needed it. And it sounds messed up, but I mean, listen, I don't care how much money you have. People will see you as something that you've always been. And if you're able to continue to be that throughout your whole life, well, I mean, hey, God bless you. But I don't know too many people that can continue to be once used to be throughout their whole entire life. And what I mean by that, I know I'm not even saying it right. It doesn't really make sense. It's a tongue twister too. But you can only continue to be for so long. And you will give your best self to a certain group of people, and then the other people won't get it because the person that you're giving your all to, they won't appreciate it, and they won't even recognize you're giving your all to them because they're just steady pulling at you. They're steady pulling at you. I mean, sucking the soul out of you, pretty much being a leech. So the people, your direct family, there's not going to be anything to give because the other people that have always gotten it, they've gotten all of it. And it might not make sense to everyone, but it makes perfect sense to me because I don't know how else to put it. Let me go back to relationships. Let me go back to relationships. So it's like this. And I believe it. Our first relationship, that person got the best of us. And I say us because I am mentioning me too. The very first relationship got the best of us because before that, we were not broken. Before that, we didn't need to be healed because a relationship becomes a relationship when we start having feelings towards someone. So the very first person that you had feelings towards, they got the absolute best of you. I know this. I've lived this. I've seen this. So let me try to make better sense. I say the person that you were dating the very first time got the best of you because when you get hurt the first time, see how my eyes got big? When you get hurt the first time, you create a shield because you don't want to feel that pain no more. I don't care how old you are. You know what? Let me take that back. The young puppy love, that doesn't matter anyway. I say when you get at least above 16 and up, that's what I think, because then there's hormones that gets involved. The your purity gets taken. In other words, you lose your virginity, and some people lose their virginity at even younger ages. But let's just, you know, let's just keep it at 16. But you create a barrier, and it's hard for that barrier to be pushed down. You know what I'm saying? Pushed down because let me talk specifically for me. There's a lot of hurt that I've had throughout my entire life. There's a lot of hurt that I've given throughout the entirety of my life. But the hurt that I've received, I'm like an elephant. I just don't forget. I really don't forget. So listen, I don't care to share this. We family, right? We ain't family. But listen, we're growing together. That's good enough. I was in a relationship, and God rest her soul, my grandmother passed away. And I let her know I was going to the funeral. And, I didn't do a bunch of texting at the time. So, communication wasn't going to be something that we were going to have. But this young female pretty much stepped out on me while I went away to my grandmother's funeral. I'm 32, okay? I was 16. I haven't forgot. I'm never going to forget. There's other things that will make it more traumatizing. That's the unfortunate thing about life, because you can have trauma and then you can have more trauma packed on it on top of it that will make it much worse, much more traumatizing. So first, my grandmother passes away, my mom's mom. I remember hearing her. I still remember her voice to this day, calling, saying, "What y'all doing?" And then asking to speak to my mom. But so not only am I going to a funeral, not only am I seeing my mom pass out, my aunts, my uncles, in tears, cousins, all of us, but I come home to no answer, calling. What's that about? I don't know. So eventually, we just stopped talking. Who does that? I say young female because that's what she was, a young female. Because if you ask me, a woman will tell you, "I don't want to be with you anymore. It's not you, it's me." I mean, that's cliche, but she will say something. Anyways, there's no animosity. I hope she's doing good, but we just you can't tell me we grew apart in 2 days. I mean, we laughed, we did all that good stuff, and what's funny is that 2 years later, I remember my senior year, she saw me with somebody, and she I think I mentioned this before, but she came up to us and was talking about me. I forgot why. It doesn't matter why, but she said she couldn't be with me because I was too nice. Even if I was, you don't step out on somebody. You don't see that. You don't seek out an opportunity to step out on somebody when it comes to that. So because of that, there was a barrier. Okay, I'm telling you, the China wall. I put that thing up, and I hurt somebody because they hurt me. I've never been a cheater. I've never wanted to see another female cry because of me, but I did. And I'm not advocating that if somebody hurts you, that's your validation to hurt someone else. But hurt people do hurt people. And it's just true. Because the trauma that comes with it, we become who we hate if we're not careful. That's the exact same thing. That's the exact thing that will happen. You will become what you hate if you're not careful. If you don't face it, if you don't accept it, forgive it, and leave it alone. So again, I'm saying once you've evolved, once you've done your crying, your sleepless nights, your praying, once you've healed, those same people that hurt you, you can face them, smile at them, and walk on about your business. But again, that's if you've evolved, that's if you faced it. If you don't, if you just act like it, listen, let me say this before I wrap it up. If you act like people, like things don't hurt you, you will never become healed. You need to cry. You need to do the things that you are ashamed of doing because of somebody else's pain that they've given to you. But you don't have to do it all your life. You don't have to do it the rest of your life. So again, it's not messed up, but once you're healed, the people that broke you, they don't deserve Nathaniel from you. They don't deserve your time. They don't deserve a sorry, an apology. You don't need it. You're good. They have no effect on you whatsoever at all. This is Mind, Muscle, Spirit Motivation. Like, share, subscribe, leave comments. Let's continue to get better together forever. And until next time, we are out. Peace.